Republicans have just voted to pass a motion to issue arrest warrants for Democrats who have fled the state because Republicans are illegally trying to rig future elections by gerrymandering once again. Here's my question. And in the words of Sheree Whitfield from the Real Housewives of Atlanta, who gon' check me, boo? You don't have jurisdiction in Illinois, bitch. How does it feel to be so goddamn intellectually inferior to the people you hate the most? You MAGA snowflakes are so incredibly vile and weak and uneducated. You are following the dumbest goddamn cult leader of all time. Jim Jones wasn't this dumb. He at least had a little compassion for his people. You all are about to experience the worst economic hardship of all time. But God forbid a little boy wants to be a little girl and play a sport. You are so stupid. Do you know how many trans kids there are in this country? In 10 years, all of you old white are going to be the minority in the country. And do you want to know why you're upset? Because you have not treated minorities in this country the way that we should be treating each other. You are terrified of being treated the way you have treated others. I am so sick of this politicized bullshit based on goddamn stupidity. If you want to have a difference of opinion based on fact and policy, what the ever. But this bullshit clown car cult that you're a part of is actually insane. Actually insane. Bye.
This is how it went. And this is how it's going.
Breaking news, Texas Democrats might get arrested, and that's a little extreme for me. So hopefully they come to their senses. They come back from Illinois to Texas. They vote on the map being changed out, and no one gets arrested, because I don't want to see anyone on any side get arrested unless you did something actually illegal like Jeff Epstein.
You guys think that this is a game. There was a period in time when Americans looked on in horror as other countries arrested their lawmakers simply because of their political affiliation. Now here you are, putting on your jerseys, your stupid hats, dancing around on TikTok, celebrating and calling for the arrest of Democratic lawmakers when they didn't even break the law. That is the most un-American thing that I could think of. I'm convinced that people like you hate America. You hate what it stands for. You hate equality. You hate checks and balances. You sure as hate representation, which is the founding of America. America was founded because it lacked representation. You have no idea what it means to be a red-blooded American patriot. Rethink your life choices, dumbass.
Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton has ordered the arrest of 57 Democratic House members that fled the state. Texas Democrats refused to listen to the orders of Governor Abbott to return to Texas by 3 today. Therefore, Texas lawmakers passed a motion to arrest the Democrats. ICE is now offering a $50,000 sign-on bonus and student loan forgiveness for new hires. Reports indicate Israel will occupy Gaza immediately. The Trump administration is set to withhold disaster aid from states and cities who boycott Israel. U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi has directed the Department of Justice to open a criminal grand jury investigation into the Russia collusion hoax.
Well, that was so random from that lady, but anyways, one of her news flashlights was actually the topic we're talking today. It seems like there is a circus going on in Texas, and it's one of those states that I didn't expect something like this to happen. Well, the Attorney General has issued arrest warrant to these Democrat representatives. I think 50 or 57 of them, I think between 50 to 57. That's a lot. Like, how did they all decide to flee from Texas? And how are they planning to go forward with this matter? That's the reason we're going to discuss today. Is it rightful for them to get arrested? Legally, they are meant to be arrested. That's not the point. What I'm saying is that these people flee from Texas in order to influence some of the decisions that the House was going to make because of the issue of quorum. that is the thing that so many people are not mentioning. But if you read between the lines, is quorum. And it's just like that sort of walkout that parliamentarians usually make in other countries. Even though morally what they're doing is not right, I think it's just within the law to walk out and not to participate. And if there is no quorum, the session is postponed to the next meeting. Now, if they chronically miss to attend the sittings, then that is where now the law has to take course. I'm not sure if they have missed a lot to a point where they have to be summoned or they have to be reprimanded because of what they are doing. I'm not sure about that. So it's kind of like, I'm not jumping into conclusion here, but I'm not seeing if they did anything wrong. And it's funny enough is that the arrest warrant only works for Texas. So most of them have been reported to be in Illinois. That arrest warrant does not work there unless now the governor can just sue them individually in order to obviously remove them or fire them from the job, or to have a court order to have them get back. I'm inviting you to listen to more opinions, and then thereafter we're gonna come back and discuss further. Let's go.
This could be how the Civil War starts, because in the state of Texas, they have just announced that they have put out arrest warrants for the Democrat members of their Congress that left the state rather than take part of their bullshit plan to gerrymander the maps and steal seats away from Democrats. So they know that Donald Trump is doing a horrible job as president, and there's no way that they could just fairly win in the midterms. So their only plan is to cheat. And if the people there refuse to go along with their illegal plan, they're going to arrest them. And you know, all this does is mean that the Democrat states are going to have to do the same thing. We heard Kathy Hochul, the governor from New York, say we are at war. And we heard that same sort of language coming out of Gavin Newsom and other blue state governors across this country. If they want to start arresting Democrats because Democrats don't want to go along with them cheating, well, this same type of behavior and energy will have to be returned to the Republicans in the blue states. Maybe this is going to be the spark that ignites it all. And that's what it is.
Texas House Republicans just voted for arrest warrants to be issued for their Democratic colleagues due to them breaking quorum and fleeing the state. Most of them right now are in Illinois, a couple are other places. And nobody in Texas has the jurisdiction to go bring these people back, even if these arrest warrants are issued on the state level. But it's becoming a flashpoint for everything we're dealing with in our democracy. This is the first time we've seen a group of elected legislators actually standing up and saying, no, we're just not going to participate in this version of our government. And I find it fascinating to consider the implications on the federal, on the national stage, because they could be writing the playbook in real time for how you deal with these types of people in the constraints of our current democracy. Now, again, there is always the nuclear option where Greg Abbott could just try to wrest control and ultimately expel all the Democrats in the House, even though he doesn't actually have the power to do that right now. And that becomes another test of how far Democrats are willing to go to push back against this regime.
Oh, hey, hi. Yeah, oh, how you doing? How you doing? Listen, some days I wonder, can things get more comical? You hear about like these House Democrats that are running away and, you know, not doing their job. And, you know, it's like we're paying them, but they don't care, you know. So then Greg Abbott goes and he's just like, listen, you guys are under arrest. Honestly, at this rate, I don't care if you're a Republican or a Democrat. If you're running away from what you're being paid to do, get bent. You literally now need to be arrested in order for you to do your job. This is just a PSA for the liberals out there. Please, for the love of God, don't consider housing one of these AWOL Democrats. Okay, because you didn't house any of the illegal immigrants either. So, all right. Have a good one.
Texas has started some shit. Texas has officially issued arrest warrants for the Democratic state lawmakers who left the state of Texas to go to Illinois in order to deny quorum in the state legislature so that the Republican majority would not be able to officially approve their redistricted maps that are gerrymandered all to hell. So gerrymandered that they would even deny one of the most popular members of the House of Representatives, Jasmine Crockett, re-election in 2026. How would those maps do that? Oh, they actually redrew her district in a way that her current house is no longer in it. I'm sure that was just an accident. So here's what we're going to do, guys. We're going Republican seat shopping. This is a roll call of every Democratic governor in the United States of America with Republican seats up for grabs to be cherry-picked as we see fit in their states. Because what is good for the goose is now good for the motherfucking gander. So governors, please listen. If you are not ready to go to war, just like New York State Governor Kathy Hochul said, and redistrict the hell out of your states to deprive the Republican Party of every seat possible, and then on the day that those redistricted maps come up for vote, if the Republicans leave to deny quorum in the state legislature, to issue warrants for their arrest, just like Greg Abbott just did. If you're not ready to do that shit, then step the hell aside and let someone into your place who is ready, because this is the only way this gets done. And if you are not a governor, you need to contact every one of these governors, or as many of them as possible, and let them know that you fully support this plan. So let's start with Arizona Governor Katie Hobbs. You have 6 Republican seats up for grabs. Go get them. California Governor Gavin Newsom, 9 Republican seats up for grabs. Go get them. Colorado Governor Jared Polis, 4 Republican seats up for grabs, including Beetlejuice McHandjobby's seat. Get her gone. Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker, 3 Republican seats up for grabs. Kansas Governor Laura Kelly, 3 Republican seats up for grabs. Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear, 5 Republican seats up for grabs. Maryland Governor Wes Moore, 1 Republican seat. I still want it, Governor Moore. It's just 1, but I want it. Michigan Governor Whitmer, 7 Republican seats up for grabs. New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy, 3 Republican seats. New Mexico Governor Grisham, 3 Republican seats. New York Governor Kathy Hochul, 7 Republican seats. North Carolina's a honeypot, baby. Governor Stein, 10 Republican seats. I want them all, baby. Please get them. Oregon Governor Kodik, 1 Republican seat. Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro, 5 Republican seats. Washington Governor Bob Ferguson, 2 Republican seats. Wisconsin Governor Tony Evers, 6 Republican seats. And Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, 4 Republican seats. Get it done.
Well, it's starting. The Civil War, maybe. Because Republicans in Texas just voted to arrest Democrats that fled the state to break quorum so that the Republicans couldn't gerrymander the state. That literally means that they're going to send police after elected officials who are trying to prevent Republicans from destroying the Constitution. I don't know, man. It's starting to sound a lot more like 1861 to me. I am genuinely very curious to see if police will comply with this, to see what people say, what people do. I mean, what's the move, guys? It blows me away that we are only 6 months into Trump's presidency and all of this has happened. We are hurtling towards the edge of something that we have not experienced before. And if you think about how our normal has changed in the last 6 months, try to remember what it was like before that. Anyways, I have a feeling this week is going to be another long, dark week, to say the least.
Texas has taken things to a whole nother level. Governor Greg Abbott and Republican leaders in the state have now issued civil arrest warrants for over 50 Democratic lawmakers. Why? Because they fled the state. They left Texas to block a vote on redistricting. And where did they go? Well, most of them ended up in Illinois and New York. That's right. Texas Democrats went on the run to stop a redrawing of congressional maps that could hand Republicans 5 extra U.S. House seats heading into the 2026 midterms. Now, Abbott is threatening to fine them, get this, $500 a day, have them expelled from office, and send law enforcement to drag them back, at least if they set foot back in Texas. But here's the thing, outside of Texas, those arrest warrants don't really hold. And now Democratic governors are stepping in, calling it a political stunt, while Republicans are saying these lawmakers abandoned their jobs, and it kind of sounds like they did. So here's what I want to know. Is this just good old-fashioned political strategy, or is Texas starting to look more like a one-party state where the rules only apply when they're convenient? Let me know what you think. Has Abbott gone too far, or are Democrats just refusing to do their jobs? Let me know. Appreciate you.
Guys, at this point, this is where now we say the situation has gotten comical. It's Governor Abbott who gave them until August 8th if they have not reported it in order to attend this session. Then he's threatening to pursue with lawsuits individually for each one. Lawmakers are arguing that the arrests are unlikely to happen, and so is the issue of these lawmakers losing their seats. This is because, according to them, walking out is within the law, and even the tricky part is that the Texas Constitution actually allows for that. And so whatever he wants to do is going to be null and void. The only way he's going to pursue this is to sue them individually. And remember, suing 50 people individually, that's financially draining. That's going to take a lot of time. And remember, these are elected people. It's going to be a hectic one. Some people say that if these Democrat lawmakers make it past August 19th, then it's more likely that this warrant of arrest issued against them would no longer work, because ideally the session was supposed to expire by then. I think the only thing that they are gonna incur is the $500 fine that this guy has mentioned. Maybe that is what they are gonna incur, but hey, $500 per session until that very date, it's not a thing. They've got loaded pockets and they can afford to make payments of the same. At least that's what I think. Many Democrat representatives are coming in to say that this is a political witch hunt, and it's like trying to influence Democrats to subscribe to Republicans' agenda, to conservative agendas, which they are highly unlikely to subscribe to, and they are not willing to take that stance. And even what these sittings are for is, of course, creating more sections where it's more likely that the Republicans are gonna occupy, of which these Democrat lawmakers are actually running against. I don't know how we're gonna put it. One of those retaliatory efforts is obviously walking out of this session. Another thing is to take the bull by its horn. Of course, by that I mean trying to whip even the Republican lawmakers to vote against that in order to rescind that bill that is going to be discussed in the House. But it seems like it's more unlikely to whip the Republican lawmakers, and hence the ideal thing to do is obviously to walk out of that sitting, and that is exactly what these Democrat lawmakers have decided to do. As we have said before, Texas laws agrees with quorum breaking, that is like walking out, which is actually legal. Another thing is that missing these sittings does not warrant whoever is in charge to say that these lawmakers are violating the Constitution or they're supposed to be thrown out of their seats, unless these Democrat lawmakers actually come out and say that they are rescinding their seats as per the Constitution. It's like a form of resigning. Technically, wherever they are, Illinois, New York, they can stay there as long as they get past August 19th and they don't get arrested. And all this is that discriminatory mapping which has been pushed by Donald Trump and his administration. Is one of those that I don't know what's happening, man. It's really, I'll call it a circus. But anyways, this is the point that I give this forum to you guys. I really crave for your opinions and your thoughts. It would be insightful if you share what you do think right now. The comment section is open. Also, don't forget to check the original creators. Their usernames have been embedded in the Stitch videos as always. Go on to their TikToks, like, follow them. For this channel, make sure you subscribe, turn on post notification. Also, smash a huge thumbs up button for this video. Let me meet you in the next one. Peace out.